Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Film, and no, that isn't my real name. Today we're doing a classic review on one of the biggest sci-fi films of the 80s, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Before we get started, you should know that this review will contain minimum spoilers ahead, and if you're new to this channel, please feel free to subscribe so you won't miss any new content. So without further ado, let's start discussing our main star of this film, E.T. He has got to be one of the most adorable aliens I've ever seen. The filmmakers did so well making this character likable, memorable, and loving. And you have to give praise to Carlo Rambaldi for creating an original design of E.T. I'm serious! When was the last time you saw another alien from another movie that looks like E.T.? Huh? Zero! You also gotta give praise to the puppeteers' use of animatronics, the small actors that took turns wearing the costume, and Pat Welsh voicing for E.T. and delivering great lines, such as this.
E.T. 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 Be good.
That never gets old. Now let's talk about our main character, Elliot, played by Henry Thomas. Honestly, I can't think of another kid actor replacing Henry, because he was so good in this movie. He did a great job interacting with E.T. as if he was actually talking to a real alien. And he did a fine job showcasing real emotion and love for E.T. As for the rest of the cast, they did well playing the roles as members of Elliot's family. Especially Gertie, played by Drew Barrymore. I especially like her reaction to seeing E.T. for the first time.
Elliot, look what I made for you.
How can you not laugh at this scene? The cinematography and the music score were also excellent in this film. For instance, when the agents discover where E.T. is hiding, you then see government officials slowly walking toward the house. The orange horizon, the shadows on their faces, and the slow drumming of the music score make you feel tense and uneasy because you're not even sure what they're going to do to E.T. now that they have found him. As for the story was well cohesive and well written. It may come off as a simple story at the surface, but you'd be surprised what you may find when you take a deep dive into the film. For instance, the friendship of Elliot and E.T. In the beginning of the film, you would recognize that Elliot has no friends, he feels lonely, and he can be selfish sometimes towards his family. But his whole life changes when he meets E.T. for the first time. From that point on, he slowly becomes more selfless, caring, and willing to sacrifice everything he has to ensure that E.T. gets home safely. Man, this film did a fine job showcasing how powerful friendship can be. And do you want to know something interesting about this story? It turns out that Spielberg's story drew inspiration from when his parents split apart.
Which was really a story about my mom and dad when they got divorced, and how I felt as a kid, wanting a friend like that to fill the void in my life. And then it happened to be that Harrison Ford's wife, Melissa Matheson, who had written co-written The Black Stallion, was on the set with Harrison. And I just want to get this thing written, and I love Black Stallion. I said, hey Melissa, you want to write this? She said no. And then Harrison talked her into it, and then she said yes eventually. And she did a tremendously wonderful screenplay.
Honestly, I think it's brave and bold of him to integrate his life experience into this movie, which filmmakers really do nowadays. Nowadays, we get movies like...
Who the hell are you, Matt?
I am Venom. I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about that movie soon. Overall, my friends, I can see why many people consider this one of the greatest films of all time. And it shows. It has lovable characters, excellent practical effects, an astounding score, and an emotionally driven story. And do you want to know something else? After the film's success at the box office and receiving critical acclaim, the filmmakers were considering making a sequel.
What?
But Spielberg decided not to go through with it, because he thought the sequel would have robbed the first film's pure of innocence, and it would have made the ending less powerful. But that's not all. On November 2019, Xfinity released a short commercial where E.T. returns to Earth to see Elliot and his family in time for Christmas. And man, it warmed my heart like a stove. Okay, not exactly like that from Mrs. Doubtfire, but you know what I mean. If you haven't gotten the chance to see it, I recommend checking it out. It's worth the watch. Nothing more to say except this movie will definitely live in our hearts for a very long time. E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial scores a 10 out of 10. Woo! That's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, for it would really help my channel, because YouTube's algorithm is... oh.
That's right, it stinks!
Thank you all so much for watching this review, and thank you to those who subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot. And as always, I will see you guys in our next appointment.